Hi, welcome to Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Happy holidays! So today we're going to be making cookies in a collaboration with CNC, hosted by CNC Farm. Go check her channel out. She will have a playlist of all kinds of people who joined this collaboration making different types of cookies every day. There's, I think, a couple different people every day. So that's quite an extensive playlist. So if you want to get into making cookies or have new ideas, I definitely check that channel out for that playlist. I am going to be making Buckeyes. So join me for doing my part of the collaboration for the Ultimate Cookie 23. You ready to go? Let's do this. All right, so some things that we're going to need for this recipe is powdered sugar. You'll need a 1/4 cup measuring cup and a 1 cup measuring cup. You'll need a 1/2 teaspoon and a tablespoon. You'll need some either milk chocolate or dark chocolate almond bark or white almond bark, whatever your preference is. A small kettle or two to melt those in. I'm using a cookie sheet with a piece of parchment paper over the top. It's rolling. Anyways, so you put the parchment paper on the cookie sheet to put these on. Whoops, sorry about that. Close bird's eye view of that. We are going to need peanut butter, whatever brand of creamy peanut butter you like to use. 1 stick of butter, unthawed and softened. Sugar. I'm going to use the sugar to make my own brown sugar. So either make your own sugar or, make your own brown sugar or buy brown sugar from the store. I'm making mine. I only need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of white sugar in this container. Slow down, Heather, right? And I'm going to add some molasses and mix it with a fork, and that'll make me some brown sugar. And I'm going to pack 2 tablespoons and add that to a mixing bowl. So those are our ingredients: brown sugar or make your own brown sugar, peanut butter, 1 stick of softened butter, a cookie sheet with parchment paper, because when you put the peanut butter ball rolls on the parchment paper, you're going to set that in the freezer for a while so they get a little bit harder, so it's easier to dip them into your chocolate preference. And some just basic tools. You'll want a hand mixer and powdered sugar. All right, I have in here just regular 2 tablespoons of white sugar. You can use whatever kind of sugar you want, or you can just go to the store and get brown sugar. And then I'm going to use molasses, and I'm going to drizzle a little molasses. You can do a light brown sugar, a medium brown sugar, or a dark brown sugar, your preference, or whatever the recipe would call for. And you're just going to take a fork, and it takes a little while, and you're just going to keep smashing that molasses into the white sugar until it becomes brown sugar, and it will eventually. You just have to have patience. You can use a hand mixer as well, but I wanted to show you with a fork. And you just kind of scrape off. I'm gonna make a mess. That's what you do. That's what you gotta do when you bake. It's all right. It cleans up, right? And you just keep mixing it around and mixing it around, smashing it, wiping off the clumps off of the fork until you get that all mixed around. I'm gonna pause you. I'll bring you back when that's all mixed up, because I don't want you guys to have to watch me do that forever. All right, I have you back now. So I wanted to show you really quickly the brown sugar that we made with the molasses and regular sugar. Like I said, you can buy it from the store, or you could just get some molasses and some sugar and make it fresh whenever you need it. So now what I'm gonna do in a mixing bowl is I'm gonna add 2 cups of creamy peanut butter. And yeah, It's a mess, but you know what? It's a goodness mess. So I'm gonna keep scraping this out and get this into my mixing bowl. And get out as much as you can.
Let me help you. I could get that little bit. Okay.
All right, that's about as good as we're gonna get. Would you take that, my lovely assistant? Okay, so now we're going to add 1 stick of melted butter, which this is homemade butter that I made. And I have a butter mold that I use. You can use, it says to use salted butter. So whatever salted butter you use normally, you'll add, it says half of a cup, that's half a cup. And that, add that into that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add in my 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Scraping the sides, get all those little bits in there for all that goodness. Hand this off to my lovely assistant. Thank you. And then I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. I need to get another one. Here's half. Yeah. So I'm gonna do 3 of these because it's only a half of a teaspoon. So it's 1.5. 1. And a half. So there's the vanilla. You can use whatever vanilla you use. If you make homemade vanilla, that's even better. Let's see. 3 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. So I'm gonna get my measuring cup here and probably make a huge mess, but that's, you know, the fun of it, right? And then if you get some on your hands or whatever, it cleans up. So I need to use 3 1/4 cups. So I'm gonna do 3 cups of powdered sugar. And I'm probably gonna just do 2, and then I'll add 1 more cup and 1/4 to this in a minute. I'm gonna use my mixer and I'm gonna mix it. I'll bring you right back because I don't think you wanna hear me do this part. Maybe it is. It's gonna get a little bit thicker, which is totally fine. If it gets too thick that you can't mix it, you can add like a quarter, maybe half a teaspoon or 2 of some milk to thin it out a pinch, but you wanna really have them kind of thick. So remember I added 2 cups of powdered sugar. Now I'm adding my 3rd cup. And I have 1/4 of a cup here. Woo! See, I'm making a mess. Scrape down my sides with a spatula so we get all of it intertwined and mixed into the mixture. I'm gonna set this aside for now. Ooh, look at my mess. I'm turning it off and going up here so I don't make as much of a splatter mess. And then if you just turn your bowl a little at a time, you can get it. You definitely want to get the sides and the bottoms so you get all the stuff mixed up. Okay, so now I've got all that in there and that's it. That's all I have to do. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use something that is the same size, and I'm going to, let me move this stuff around so you guys can see better. So here's my cookie sheet. Here's my cookie sheet with my parchment paper. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a tablespoon. You can use whatever size you want for whatever size of balls you want. You just wanna kind of get them all balanced to about the same. So I think I'm gonna go for kind of like a heaping tablespoon and see what happens. And then you're gonna roll it in your hands until it's a nice, smooth, tight ball. Just gently pushing like that. And then you're gonna set it on your cookie sheet and you're gonna keep doing that until all this, what is this, dough? I think that's what you call it, cookie dough. So you're just gonna put it in your hands, kind of gently pushing and getting it all smooth like that, and setting it a little distance apart on your cookie sheet. And once you get all these done, you're gonna set this whole tray in the freezer for about at least an hour. And then you're gonna pull them back out and we're gonna melt some chocolate and dip them in chocolate, and I'll take you along for the rest of that. Thank you for joining me and stick with me. We're almost there. All right, so what I've done is I've pulled the peanut butter mixture out of the freezer, and I put a toothpick in there, and I'm going to twirl. I'm going to twirl it in the chocolate, and then I'm going to stick it down back onto the parchment paper, and I'm going to insert my toothpick into another one, swirl it around. There we go. In the chocolate to get like halfway covered. Put it down back on the cookie sheet on the parchment paper and just keep going at it until you get them all halfway coated or 3/4 of the way up coated with some chocolate. So I'll bring you back when I get that part all done. Make sure you keep stirring your chocolate around so it stays nice and evenly melted. All right, I'll bring you back when I get those done. All right, so I have all of the Buckeyes dipped, the bottom halves of them dipped in chocolate. Smells good, looks good. I think it looks good. Anyway, so in the microwave I melted some white chocolate, and I'm going to drizzle some white chocolate over the tops of them. You have to keep stirring the chocolate so it stays nice and melted. And you kind of got to go fast. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my cookie sheet this way so I can do this kind of this way too. Ooh, don't those look pretty? And just kind of go back over and get some of the ones that maybe didn't get a whole lot. I don't want to do too much. So now I've got milk chocolate and white chocolate. What do you guys think? Some Buckeyes or what? I'll let it harden, set the chocolate set, and then they're gonna be ready to eat. Look at that. Buckeyes. Don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe. Please check out CNC Farms. She has a playlist on her channel of all the channels that are involved in this collaboration. It's the Ultimate Cookie 23, and everybody has a different cookie recipe that's on her playlist. So if you need some new fresh ideas, or you want to learn how to make some different types of cookies and things like that, I suggest going over to her channel and checking out that playlist. What do you think? Think they turned out pretty? Merry Christmas. Have a great day and come back and see us again. Thank you. Have a good day.